Alright, welcome back to another episode of Sticky Icky. Today we're going to be infusing a shrimp pasta that I'm going to be making. I've made this shrimp from fresh, full-bodied shrimp. I use the heads, the tails, and the shells to put it inside. I'm boiling it down now, and I'm going to be making a broth. I've got the noodles pre-prepping already. You guys will see a couple of those shots throughout this video. I do want to apologize up front. This video you may hear a lot of static noise in the background. That's my fans in the house. My AC went out over the weekend and I'm waiting for the new one to show up so that we can get it in and put in. So it's pretty hot in here, so you might see me sweating a little bit as well. But again, be mindful of the noise of the fans. I do apologize for it, but it gets pretty hot in this kitchen when I'm cooking and there's no AC going. All right, well, let's get started and see how it goes. All right, so we've got all the prep work done. We've finished making our broth, our shrimp broth. I went ahead and boiled it down in some water, a little bit of salt, and just let it boil until I get all that juice. And then what we're going to do is take all of this, the heads and the carcasses, and we're going to place them right in our processor. Once they're in our processor, we're going to blend this up. We're going to come back and drain it through some cheesecloth and a strainer. We're going to get a beautiful, rich broth that we're going to use for the sauce for this pasta. A quick reminder, don't overfill your processor. If you have more than you need, get a different one. Mine exploded all over my kitchen. I'm going to have to clean up like crazy, but here's our blended shrimp broth. We're going to run this through some cheesecloth and a strainer. We're going to get all any bits and particles or chunks out of it, but this is what we'll be using to make our sauce. All right, so we're actually ready. All the prep has been done. The shrimp have been cut, cleaned, and ready to go. I have made the broth out of the shrimp heads and the shells. I kind of boiled that for about 20-30 minutes. And once I got it down to about this color, I took some of those heads along with the broth water and I put them in my processor and I went ahead and blended them up, then ran them through cheesecloth and a strainer and got this really rich, beautiful shrimp broth. Noodles have already been prepped and cooked, and how we're going to infuse this today is we're going to be using my infused butter and some infused salt and Sticky's powder. Now this infused butter is quite a bit more potent than the normal butter that I would make. It's about a half a cup in total, but I extracted from about 14 grams and put it all into this butter. So let's get it going and see how it turns out. All right, so in order for us to get this going, we're going to turn our pan onto medium-high heat. We're going to grab some infused butter. We're going to add that to the pan and get that started. That should be good. All right, we want to get all of our butter nice and melted, ready to go. I love making melted infused butter. You can smell it. The color is beautiful. Oh, just great stuff. We have sticky infused butter covered raw shrimp. I'm going to turn that heat up a little bit. I want to fry. Yeah, there we go. Oop, that beeping was my oven is ready to start my decarbonization on my next infused. Frying the shrimp. Shrimp is smelling amazing and looking great. So we're going to move this off to the side. We're going to let this sit, and then we'll bring the shrimp back in a little bit later. Alright, so in this pan we're going to go ahead and make our sauce, our shrimp sauce. So first, we're going to add in some butter. And that's a good nice piece, wouldn't you say? We'll get that in there. Get that melting down. We're going to add in a little bit of our shrimp broth. I'm trying to save this because the flour lumped up on me. And I want the lumps out. Alright, so I did mess up on the sauce a little bit. I added in the flour after I melted the butter and after I added some of the broth I had made. Which is the wrong thing to do. In making any basic roux, it's butter, a little bit of flour, your garlic, or just butter and flour is your basic starting point. And then you make your sauce from there. So that was my mistake. It took me a little bit of work to get my sauce back to what it was and get that butter or that flour to dissolve and really kind of go in. So now we're just going to let it sit here and run and simmer up and kind of thicken up a little bit. And then we'll add in our shrimp and our pasta, and we'll have a whole dish right in here. Again, this is infused. The shrimp is sitting over here in infused butter, which we'll be adding into that as well. And also a little bit of milk. Alright, here's the experiment part. We've got the sauce kind of simmering down. We're going to let that cook a little bit, thicken up. We're going to add in the rest of the shrimp and infused butter right on into this sauce with some pasta. And within a few minutes, we should be, voila, done and enjoying. That's what I want. We'll put in a little heavy cream. Just to help thicken that up. We'll let it cook down a little bit. I'm going to prepare myself some cornstarch slurry in case I need it. I'm getting a little impatient, and that's on me. It probably has to do with all the heat as well, burning up in here. Some cornstarch slurry. There we go. Now we're getting that thickening like I wanted. Time to add the shrimp. Get that mixed up in there. Well, that's looking amazing. And then let's get our pasta in. Yes, I know, you guys would be like, why did you make so much pasta? Well, because I didn't want to keep a half a box around the house. I usually feed the whole family when it comes to pasta dishes. Tell me that doesn't look amazing. We're going to turn that off, take it off the heat, and ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to serve. Alright, so we're ready to get plating. You guys seen how much butter I had in there, and that's how much is in this dish today. Go ahead and put that up and get that in the fridge. I absolutely hate that salt shaker. I'm gonna get a new one for my sticky salt. Just bring a little bit of salt. And a little bit of sticky powder. And that is my hemp powder. So it still brings you that beautiful weed flavor. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Infused shrimp pasta sauce. Moment of truth. Oh, it's so damn good. With the amount of disaster and mess I made making this dish today, it better have come out amazing. And it's absolutely delicious. You love shrimp and pasta? That's what you want to do. Outstanding dish. 10 out of 10 for me. I'm going to enjoy this and probably take a nap. Stay sticky, my friends. Until next time.